It's great to see you again, my man. I will tell you, I still have Lauren Green's chair
Attaboy.
from our last conversation, so it's sitting in my living room.
It was a Western we were going to do then.
Hey, we're talking about something that happened very close to home for us. Obviously, I'm in Houston, and we have families that were impacted, people that worked on it. I have a friend that was part of the team that left before the incident. What do you say to people that are watching us right now, our viewers that have experienced this? What do you tell them about this film?
Well, number one, probably those in the Gulf knew a little more than the rest of us around the country, in that all it was presented to the rest of the world as was an ecological disaster, oil spill. I said, yeah, I recognize this story, until I started to realize, well, 11 people died. And then there was an explosion you could see from outer space, but 100 people survived that on one of these oil rigs. How's that possible? But how is it possible we didn't hear about the human catastrophe that took place, and all we heard about was the ecological one? And I thought that was a fascinating story. I thought, I can't believe that I know of this, but I don't really know it. And then I discovered that everybody was in the same boat.
How do you put yourself in a mindset to play this role? I mean, it's a disaster, and you did a fantastic job. This movie's powerful.
Yeah, it is.
But how do you prepare yourself for that kind of a role?
I think you just put yourself in the position of the character, as the character, and then the screenplay takes care of itself. You don't try to push it. You don't try to do anything with it. It just occurs. I think what's fascinating here is that when it occurred, yeah, these people are somewhat trained for emergencies, but not when the shit hits the fan like this. I mean, nobody's prepared for that.
What about Jimmy, your character? Did you work with Jimmy Williams?
No, I never got to meet him.
Really?
No. Mike Williams was Mark's character, and he was on the set some, quite a bit. But Jimmy was never there, never got to meet him. Always wished I could, and kept trying to make that happen, but never did. But I had a lot of things to study, a lot of stuff that I could research, a lot of places to go for information on Jimmy. And then I thought that the writer had done a pretty good job, from what I could gather, of capturing who he was. But there's nothing like meeting the person. I mean, I did it with all the way from Elvis to Herb Brooks. You know, I mean, I played people that were alive, had died, but I met them. I got to meet them and got to know who they were, and give it a pretty fair shake at really getting to know them, and then portraying them that way. This was different. This was just, this was off of what I could read, see, and ask questions about other people, but we never were able to meet. So,
I want to ask you about the disaster scene and what it was like. First of all, what did this set look like? It must have just been massive.
Kind of hard for me to see because
well, okay,
I was blown out. It was like my guy's basically blind. You know what I mean? It's like, hello. And it really is true. I spent a lot of time on the set, but I spent a lot of time on it blind. Barely able to see out of a slit. And I wanted it that way because I wanted to. I didn't want to know anything. I mean, everybody was so disoriented that I felt that was, that's what you got to play, is extreme disorientation. And that's what it felt like, extremely disoriented, a lot of smoke, a lot of fire. But they did a really nice job of mixing CGI with real live fires and smoke and whatnot. And really well done. I thought that Pete's sort of kinetic energy with the camera was extremely well used.
What was it like working with Kate? I've interviewed her, I've interviewed you, I love you both, talking to you both, and I just want to know what that was like to work with.
It was great. I mean, look, it's very quick. But, a lot went into it. I mean, at the time, Oliver and Aaron had their 3 kids, my grandkids there. And it was a house that Kate had stayed in when she was shooting some other movie here. And Kate was here with her 2 boys, so there was a real familial thing there happening, which added to the fun of our scene when we got to it. But the truth is that when you're working as an actor, you sort of just go to work as an actor. I mean, that's, you go to work on the character in that situation, and when my character sees her and she sees me, there's a deep history there that is just coming to the fore for the first time. So the fact that our history is the right baggage for that was a good thing. It was a real good thing. But I look forward to working with Katie in a more fulfilling environment, where we get a chance to actually work together.